Dave.
Zoom, what's up, brother? It's Shrag, the mind of God.
Hey, man, how are you? I knew that voice.
Dude, I was listening to your phone call, man. That was classic.
um,
Epic.
yeah.
You can tell that guy knows it's BS, though, in his tone.
The last guy that we just spoke to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The police officer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, cause when you like thank him and stuff, he's like really like casual about it and shit. He's probably like thinking, what a sucker.
It just didn't sound like he had as much of the government Kool-Aid in him than the average zombie. So that's comforting.
Yeah, and he didn't seem to get triggered like when I finished up with him, but on the flip side, it's like, man, where are they? They're the guys running around with the guns. I guess they're afraid, man. I don't know.
Yeah. There's no one making any sense, dude, at all. Like, at the top. Like, nobody. Not one single person. So that's scary.
No, none of it makes any. I mean, you watch these freaking press conferences. They're telling all of us to stand 6 feet apart, and then they're freaking all.
Yeah.
They're all. Mikey Smith is live now. Everybody too. The Mind of God, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have the Mind of God. I don't know your first name. I apologize. How do you pronounce it?
No, it's cool. It's Shrag.
Shrag with a G?
With a G, yeah. Or
right.
CP are my initials. Either is good.
Cool. No, Shrag. I got it. Sorry about that. So do you have like? I mean, are you feeling vindicated? Like you think that my friend who's Christian, he just sent me a email. And he feels like some of the end time stuff is starting to really line up. I think that you feel that way too, right?
Well, I'm scared to go too far with that because what I say, there's going to be more pandemonium, and I'm not sure the world can handle it. And I obviously don't want to get people more down than they already are, but this just seems overwhelming, you know, like, I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, I think that the likelihood of us seeing, you know, God reveal himself in these days is increasing, but there's also an element of the Bible predicting a lot more pain that I just don't know how certainly the American people can handle. Because, you know, I'm here in Houston. Dude, I just came from the grocery store and people are fighting. Like, a woman's yelling at another person and, like, because she was trying to talk to somebody over her wireless and, like, somebody else thought that she was talking to them and then they started cursing at each other. And I'm like, oh, my God, dude, this is scary. Like, how tense it is.
Dude, right? That's insane. Like,
so
sad, man.
I don't know. What's Jersey like, man? Like, is there still stuff open? Like, at least here we can play golf.
Bro, it's so freaking weird, man. I went out, like, you go out to Home Depot, bro, you wouldn't even know that anything's going on. Freaking normal. Like, nothing is happening.
Okay.
So, but then, half the other shops are closed, and, like, what? Wait, then I go, you know, I said this like 3 times. I go to into Princeton, the place is empty, but then Hoagie Haven, a sandwich shop, is open, making sandwiches for people. Like, dude, if this was real, those sandwiches would have germs all over. The whole place would be germ infected.
Right.
Everyone would be like,
exactly.
Doesn't make, like, it's such insanity. This is so insane, dude.
You know what they did, dude? This is mad funny, too. In my apartment building, they put like a sheet over top of the buttons for the elevator, like a big plastic sheet. I'm like, they just increased the surface area that the germs could live on, whereas before it was a little button. Now it's this big plastic sheet that people are touching every day. It doesn't seem right, man. Like, they're just doing so many stupid things. I don't know what's going on, man.
Dude, man, it's like laugh or cry, man. It's like that is
right. Exactly.
That is for real, man. I don't mean to be dramatic, but it's like, it's so weird being in a real live movie, and this is our lives, man. This is insane.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, you're one of the few reacting the way you should. So, you know, I give you a lot of credit for that. No one else seems to care. They're just bending over to the government. So.
Well, I'm bending over, man. I bent over I bent over and paid freaking taxes, like, not too long ago. The extortion, you know what I mean? Like, dude,
right.
I'm a big freaking ball of hot air, man. Seriously. Like, I hate to say it, but I really truly believe that is the truth. Because if I did what I wanted to do,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it would be
militant.
Yeah, it would be quite different, I think. Even
So, dude,
though,
all
yeah,
those taxes, Dave, check out all those taxes and how they can't even support the people trying to get unemployment. You know, they can't buy a couple servers, Cisco servers, and where did that money go, dude? Like now we're seeing where our money was spent on garbage.
yeah, and not only that, and they're doing the and like, but yet they're giving all the money to the giant corporations, and you know what I mean, like the
Right.
money. It's just like in your face. And oh, by the way, yeah, and you guys, we'll send you a check for like $1,200. All the poor people are like,
Right.
woo, woo, I got like $1,200. They're gonna
Yeah.
feel like they're rich for like freaking a week. Um,
Yeah.
so
What can 1,200 buy you these days? Like
it,
3 rounds of groceries
it's going
at
to buy
best.
you like a week of life, and then after that, you know, if you live kind of small and you don't have a big house, and you probably have some shithole apartment that you're barely, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
yeah, man, you know, what do you? This is insane. Our grocery store. How is your grocery store? I live in a little rural town, and
Yeah.
our grocery store is getting a little picked over, like 50%. It's empty, and I wonder, man. I'm wondering, like, is that where they're headed with this thing? Is they're gonna like freaking just let this thing get crazy?
Well, not to scare people, but the Bible does say famines are in America's future. So if this is it, then it looks like the Bible is coming true. But I don't know. It could be a run, like a dry run for it when it does happen, or if it's happening. So that's the reality.
The reality is absolute insanity, man. It really is. How have you been doing? You're not. Are you? Is this affecting your employment at all, or your work situation, or
I
not
was
really?
I was unemployed in November, and I kind of voluntarily left out of boredom, and so
Yep.
it's I'm still on the tail end of my unemployment claim, so they might extend it. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait and see next week. So I may just kind of benefit from this, just kind of
Nice.
being in the right place at the right time. But
Yep.
you know, we'll see. Obviously, Houston's getting hammered because of the oil and gas situation, as you probably know.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's a little bit more severe for you know, for that particular industry too. Um,
It's funny though, dude. They send me my apartment renewal letter, and they're like, "Congratulations, you know, we're not going to raise the rent." And they made it sound like it was some major concession that they make. They're like, "Oh no, we're not going to raise the rent."
was
It's like,
was it written to slave? Did it have like attention slave?
yeah, exactly. It was like written on a tablet, you know, pounded out. It was just
That's
crazy,
so
dude.
funny, right?
It's so bad. They have no idea like what's going on. Like I don't know if that's mockery. When I read that, I don't know if they're mocking me or they're like actually like, "Hey, we think you're giving you a break," kind of thing.
But you know, they've moved. Everything is so like there's so few like small businesses, right? Like all the apartments are owned by giant corporations that own
Right.
tons of real estate. All the big business, like there's so few mom and pops here that it's like seems like they really got this thing figured out to really to burn us good, man. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't
Crazy,
know.
man.
I'm all I know is like, what do we do? Do you have any idea? Any action ideas for people, or do you think that it's just wasting our time?
I was brainstorming actually because I was listening yesterday, and I was even texting some of my family today because like from me practically, I'm like I need something to do to kind of pass time, and I asked them, you know, if you have any ideas, let me know, and then they're like, you can volunteer at a hospital, and I'm like, I'll just be honest, I don't really want to be at a hospital, but I don't think this is real, but I don't really want to volunteer at a hospital, but I'm not sure where we can make impact because like you can't really go outside. Like I'm looking outside right now in downtown Houston, and it's a Friday. There's nobody out there, so and there's police everywhere. So you can't do anything. I've
Are
noticed
you
also
guys
there's a
locked?
lot
Are
more
you guys?
police,
Do you have like in-house lockdown, like where you're not allowed to go outside?
unless it's like you know, a particular thing, like or something like that. Yeah, like no one's working. You have to be in like what's called I guess an essential function. So those jobs they're allowed to go to the office, but everybody else is working.
So
from
like
home.
if you're driving around in your freaking car or just walking around, they could like come and be like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
I haven't seen that happen to me, but I just think people are obeying it pretty closely because I just don't see anybody. Like even all the parking lots. There's a parking lot across the street from me and it's empty. So,
Bro.
and this is downtown on a Friday. So
Do you have any group of people
I
you
just
can
think
go to
people are
defy?
obeying.
I think we got to defy. We need. For me, it's getting in large groups and being visible, like
Right.
as possible to like this, so the zombies can see like, you're not going to die if you go outside. Like,
Yeah.
but even
I'm
though
not
they go
afraid
out,
of this thing at all, dude.
yeah,
I don't think this is real.
yeah. No,
So
I'm with
I
you.
don't care.
I kind of assumed that was your point of view, dude. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But even if it was, it's like we know it's fake because the government's not sincere about anything. They don't care about us. Like, we don't even need to be a flat earther to know that at this point. Like, just look at the way they handle those phone calls. They don't care. They're just like, whatever, dude. Like, they placate you and then just hang up. It's
Dude,
over.
the cops don't even like the cops don't like. It seems like they're not understanding, dude. Like that.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like they're working for freaking evil, and it's gonna burn them in the end, and it's burning their
Yeah.
freaking family. I mean, just because what? Just because they got cousin Jerry, who's the family member, he's gonna be all right when the shit goes really. What do they call it when it goes crazy, crazy?
It's the fan.
Yeah, yeah. Like what are they? They're not thinking this thing through. I think, or because I mean, as soon as you bring up the Constitution and the right to assemble, these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, man.
Right. Yeah.
So
They take away our power, man, because you can't interact. You can't do what you were saying, like even just literally get in a group of people and think about this and share stories like, hey, do you actually know anybody who has this? Or like, that kind of thing. Like, imagine literally all of us, like one person in every city, just drove around to all the hospitals and we all live streamed it simultaneously. This thing, I think, would shut down. Because, like, I mean, how could you argue with that?
yeah, the hospital thing is good. I think it's waking some people up. But I think that like hopefully maybe I'll chop up the phone call and we could get a call your police and like I mean what happens if like 100 people called the same Lakewood police guy or the guy I just called, the few people I just spoke to? Would that
Yeah.
is that going to make enough, like a little bit of an impression on that guy? Or maybe if we did that and then we got video of it, like that would again like the First Amendment auditors, like we need to connect our all the different truth groups. I feel like the 9/11 we need to get united a little bit. That freaking video that I put on last night of those Indian people, man, I'm like, I want to be,
Yeah.
I want to be those people, man. I want to be with a bunch of other people who are willing to hit the streets and chase these freaking weirdos away, man. They're like, and I don't know what they are. I don't think they're even human, man. I'm starting, Flat Earth Fogger calls them NPCs, and it's like,
Yeah.
he's almost right, I think, man. It's like really,
No, he's right, for sure. On a lot of things.
it's like, it's
Definitely.
freaking crazy, man.
What would you want us to say if we call them? Like, what do we challenge them on? The police, for example. Like, kind of what you just did?
I don't know. I don't even know if it's worth it, but something to just get to the point to say that I know that the governor this is a farce. The governor is
Yeah.
making an illegal order, and the police are enforcing these illegal orders. So but you're going to do this, and they end up either like the first one, I guess you have to really act stupid and be their friend for a moment, but because the first guy just got all pissed and hung up on me because I was too quick with him. But I don't know. But I don't even know if it would do it. Like, what is, you know what I mean? Maybe it would be good that they see that there's a lot of us, that there's you know what I mean? If they got hundreds of phone calls. Oh, I know what I'm planning on doing. What do you think about this? What if we go around to our neighbors? And I was thinking of going around with my video camera and being like, so folks, how are you holding up? I'm your neighbor. Are you guys doing okay financially? What do you think of what's going on? And, by the way, are you aware the First Amendment says we have the right to assemble? And nobody can make any laws to take that away. I don't believe unless they go full on military martial law, which then, at least now that they don't care about the Constitution. And then you can then address that particular issue in a different manner, because now we're on even footing. Because if they do that, basically they're saying you are our subjects. You have no freedom. And now, right now, they're trying to get away with, oh, you have freedom. We're doing this for your safety, like the cop said.
Right. which is
So
horseshit.
I'm thinking we go around to the neighbors and we get these people to understand that you can't override the Constitution. I'm not a big believer in the whole United States Constitution and all that, but it's the only thing I have to work with the people, I guess. And who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
it is a good document. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. But I do know that supposedly no one can make that
Mm.
law, right? They can't create a law that takes away our rights that are written in the Constitution. So
Hmm.
um, at that point, I think that if I can get a bunch of my neighbors together, then you start having a party and you invite your neighbors to a giant party and you have a party and we start showing we're not going to put up with this.
So
Like a
Zoom, the
cookout.
ten,
Yeah.
the 10 people can hang out, but the 11th has to be 6 feet away. Is that what they're like? That's their legalistic sort of rule
Yeah.
when they
Right.
say 10 can gather.
Yeah.
Because that it's so laughable. Like, yeah, are you guys under curfew at 8 o'clock, or you said that's just the companies, the
Yeah, I think
businesses that
we're.
have to?
I think it's eight. Oh, you know what? I didn't clarify that. I think it is at 8 p.m. curfew. Like you're not supposed to go out or do anything, or nine
Oh
o'clock.
my
Let
god,
me see.
dude,
I'll
that's
look it up. I'm
so
not
weird.
positive. I'm not. Let me look here real quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Oh my
We don't
gosh.
have anything like that I know of, but it's very, very clear that a majority of people are working from home just by foot traffic in the city of Houston. So
I don't know what they're going to be.
it's bad, man. We're getting hit by like a left and a right jab. I'm not even sure which one's bigger, the corona or the oil price tanking and all that kind of stuff. So people are really scared. I think that the sad reality is this would be a time where people would be likely to come together and make groups because we don't have as much to lose. We have something to gain, like maybe the government stopped flicking us breadcrumbs, $1,200 breadcrumbs. I'm not trying to be rude to people, but that can't last anybody very long.
No,
That's
man.
crazy.
No.
In lieu of all the money printing they've been doing over the last decade, if people understood how little that is, that's just completely insulting.
Plus, I mean, eventually you would expect to see massive inflation take place over the trillions of dollars they just printed. Um,
Yeah,
so that $1,200 now is going to buy about 800, $500 or $600 worth of shit. So we just all got a
yeah,
lot poorer very quickly, I believe.
yeah.
New Jersey residents were told on Monday that they should not leave their homes from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. as Phil Murphy recommended a statewide curfew. So they spin this thing. He's right, and they just get people that people
Hmm.
don't listen to the fine details of it. There is no curfew. He recommends it. Now, casinos,
Yeah.
restaurants, bars, movie theaters, and gyms must shut down at 8 p.m. because at 8 p.m. the coronavirus boogeyman comes out. Right?
Yeah, it just rests. It takes a nap, it goes to sleep, and all that. It's ridiculous, dude.
It is
So
insane.
stupid.
It's freaking insane. And so, yeah, I think that'll be my next little stunt that I pull. I'm going to just walk around my neighborhood and I'll bring a piece of paper. And I think what I'll do is I'll say that I'm going to be having a big party at my house, barbecue,
Hmm.
and bring your kids, bring your grandparents, bring all the old people, you know?
Hmm.
So, if we're going
Yeah,
to die, we're going to die, man. Don't live in fear like a bitch,
yeah.
Bunch of bitches.
That's what's happening.
Bunch of freaking sheep bitches, man.
The world is literally littered with just too many atheists. Like if we had just a few less, we would be okay. Like there's just way too many atheists. We got Tim Osmond in the chat, who's the prince atheist, and these dummies. No doubt, Tim was the first person who put a message of the retarded ballers that he knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who has it and
Oh
died.
no,
So
really?
right on cue, we have these clowns.
Poor Timmy.
And these people are too cool to talk about money and monetary stuff because that's whatever, that's 10 years ago and all that. So people like Tim, who's an American, we're gonna have to start drinking out of that cup, whether you're a ball earther or not. So everybody was smart when everything was normal. The earth was a ball, everything's hunky dory, but I think people are realizing that it's not the case. We've been duped on many other things, not just ball earth.
Yeah, we're duped on everything, man. They freaking brainwashed us from freaking like starts off with the Pledge of Allegiance and right on down the line from there, everything just goes sour. So, Flat Earth Watertown New York says I'm broke now. I got food bank assistance today, and half of the stuff was expired. That's disrespectful, dude.
Jeez.
The good news is, man, I ate canned soup that was like 8 years old the other day, and had a little bit of
Hmm.
that tinny flavor. But like I
Yeah.
back when I was like a complete zombie, I was like a 99% zombie. I think it was that was probably from 2008. I probably had some of that food stored up, and I had a
Jeez.
bunch of tomato soup. But I ate some last night just to try it, and you can actually eat that stuff, I think, and you know, it might not be the healthiest thing to eat, but you know, if you're really
Yeah.
hungry, I think you'll be all right. Hang in there, Flat Earth Watertown. I forget your name, man. I apologize. Um,
But Zoom, good news, dude. I found some toilet paper today, dude. So I'm good.
oh, nice!
That was a big
Congratulations.
find.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
nice.
Everything's better.
So.
Everything's all right now.
All right, man, dude. I appreciate you coming live, man, to help pass the time. But if just send me an email, or if you want to chat or need anything. But
Sweet, man. And you think you'll do another? You have another street? What time do you normally do your live streams? This is the mind of God, everybody. Keep going.
I might go tonight, but I'm definitely going tomorrow night. But I don't know. I feel like people. I don't know. The Bible's not really popular either for a lot of people, and I don't like pushing it down people's throat. But if anybody does want to chat with me or has questions offline, you can email me. I'll put my email in the chat. We don't have to do it publicly, but if people have questions about the Bible and all that, I may be of use. But yeah.
Awesome, bro.
Okay.
All right. Well, just buy some popcorn and we'll watch the show, man. That's all I can say.
Yes, we'll do.
All
Be
right, dude.
safe, though, man. Take
All
care.
right. Thank you for
Bye.
the call. Yeah. Bye bye. So that was Mind of God, everybody. Mind of God channel. I like him a lot. I think he's cool, and I like what he says. I think it's very interesting.